Everyone, welcome back. Ready for another deep dive?
Always ready. What are we looking at today?
Well, today we're focusing on Ontario's higher education system.
Okay.
It seems like it's about to go through some pretty big changes, and
Yeah,
we're going to figure out what those changes might mean for students.
I think that's a good idea.
Yeah, I think so too. And
A lot of students are probably wondering what's next for them.
yeah, absolutely. And to help us with this deep dive, we have some awesome analysis from Dr. Andre de Freitas over at Advising You.
Oh yeah, I've seen some of his stuff. He's a smart guy.
Yeah, he is. And this is some really interesting stuff. So let's jump right in.
Okay, let's do it.
So first up, we got to talk about these strategic mandate agreements, or SMAs as everyone's calling them.
Yeah, SMAs, right?
Yeah, and they're all set to expire in
Yeah.
2025.
That's right.
So I guess the first question is, why should we even care?
Well, that's a good question.
Like, what's the big deal about these things expiring?
Well, think of these agreements as blueprints. They're like blueprints for all these different colleges and universities in Ontario.
Right.
They outline how they get their funding from the government and what the government expects them to achieve.
Gotcha.
But here's where it gets really interesting.
Okay.
All these SMAs are expiring, just as the traditional model of higher education is starting to face a whole bunch of problems.
Like what kind of problems? Spill the tea.
Well, for starters, we're seeing enrollment rates going down in these traditional four-year institutions.
Really?
Yeah, it seems like people aren't necessarily choosing that four-year degree right after high school.
Interesting.
Yeah, and then there's also this growing disconnect between what's being taught in some of these university programs and what employers actually want.
Oh, I see what you mean.
It's like a gap, a skills gap.
So they're learning stuff they can't even use.
In some cases, yeah.
That's a problem.
And to make things even tougher, the government has made it clear that they're not going to bail out any struggling institutions.
Oof. So they need to adapt or else. And it seems like some institutions are starting to make some tough choices.
Yeah, for sure.
Like Seneca College closing its Markham campus.
Yeah, that was a big one.
Seems like that was a pretty clear sign that things are changing.
Absolutely. The Seneca situation is a perfect example of the kind of pressure these colleges and universities are under.
Makes you wonder what's next.
Yeah, it's a real crossroads for higher education in Ontario.
So what do you think? What are some things that might happen because of all this?
Well, one possibility is that we'll see more colleges and universities merging together.
Like becoming one big super institution?
Kind of, yeah.
Oh.
It's already happening in other provinces. It's a way for them to share resources and save money.
That makes sense.
And unfortunately, we might also see more campus closures.
Oh, that's sad.
Yeah, it is. But it's a reality institutions might have to face as they try to streamline their operations.
It's definitely a changing landscape.
It is.
But I guess change could be good too, right?
Right. And speaking of change, there's this whole idea of public-private partnerships.
Yeah, that's right. Dr. de Freitas mentioned that in his analysis.
He did. He talked about how companies like Google or Amazon might start having a bigger say in what's being taught.
Yeah, like imagine taking a course designed by Google on something like digital marketing.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool.
Right, like learning directly from the source.
Exactly, and it's already happening.
Really?
Yeah, have you heard of Google's Career Certificates program?
I've heard of it, but I don't know much about it.
Well, it's a program that's designed to teach people in-demand tech skills.
Oh, so it's like a fast track into a tech job.
Yeah, pretty much.
Wow.
You don't even need a traditional four-year degree for it.
That's pretty awesome.
It is, but, and this is a big but,
What's the but?
we have to be careful about how much influence these companies have over the education system.
Yeah, I could see that.
We don't want them pushing their own agendas or anything.
Right, education should be about the students, not corporate interests. So, okay, let's talk about something else that's been popping up a lot lately.
What's that?
Microcredentials.
Ah, yes!
It seems like everyone's talking about them these days.
They're definitely gaining popularity.
But what are they exactly?
Well, think of them as building blocks for your skills.
Okay.
Imagine you want to learn about data analytics, but you don't have time for a full degree program.
Right.
Microcredentials let you learn specific data analysis skills that you can use right away.
Oh, so it's like a smaller, more focused course.
Yeah, and the best part is that you can often stack them up later on.
Set them up.
Yeah, like you can take a few microcredentials and they might count towards a full diploma or degree in the future.
Interesting.
It's like building your own personalized education path.
That's pretty cool.
It is. It gives you a lot of flexibility.
Yeah, especially if you're already working or you have other commitments.
Exactly.
It's like you're in control of your own learning.
You are.
I like that.
And it's perfect for this whole polywork thing that's becoming more and more common.
Polywork. What's that?
It's where people have multiple jobs or side hustles at the same time.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that.
It's becoming the new norm for a lot of people.
And microcredentials can help people adapt to that, right?
Exactly. They give you the specific skills you need for each job.
That's smart.
It is. And it shows how education needs to change to keep up with how work is changing.
It's all connected.
It is.
So we've talked about the institutions changing and the way students are learning changing, but what about the educators?
Oh, yeah, they're a crucial part of all of this.
They have to be on board with all these changes, right?
Absolutely. They need to be open to new ways of teaching.
Like using AI and other technologies in the classroom.
Exactly.
It's all about preparing students for the future.
It is.
So, to wrap things up, it's clear that Ontario's higher education system is at a really important turning point.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
There are big decisions to be made, and these decisions are going to have a real impact on all the students out there.
Yeah, every student in Ontario will be affected in some way.
So here's something for everyone listening to think about.
Okay.
If we really want an education system that puts students first and meets their needs, what other changes do you think we need to see in the next few years?
That's a great question, and I think it's a question that every student, educator, and policymaker should be asking themselves.
We need to be creative, challenge the old ways of doing things, and build a system that helps everyone succeed.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
So thanks for joining me for this deep dive. It's been really eye-opening.
It has. It's given me a lot to think about.
Me too. And to all of you listening out there.
Yes?
Remember, this isn't just about watching these changes happen.
Right.
You have a voice.
You do.
Get involved, share your thoughts, and advocate for the kind of education you want to see.
That's how we make real change.
Exactly. We're on the edge of something big here, and together we can build a better future for higher education in Ontario. Me too. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you next time for another deep dive.
See you later.
Bye.
Bye.